Check 1-2. All right, everybody. Well, it took us about half of a quarter to get all set up. And one Roosevelt touchdown, but here we are. We've straight in from state softball, and we are kind of ready to rock and roll. Touchdown for Roosevelt. They will go for 2 here. And this should be an interesting game here tonight. Roosevelt already fumbled as they punch it in. Now 8-0. As there are 5:15 left. And just wanted to let you know what was going on. We are still trying to get set up. We literally just rolled in maybe half an hour ago. We got our entire booth set up, the same crew that was at state softball today. And so it's been a crazy ride for us, but it's fun for us to do this. So we're happy to bring this game to you. Tigers trail at 8-0. There is an injury. We are going to mute for just a moment, make sure everything else is ready to go here on the Erie Tiger Network. All right, welcome back in, Erie Tiger Network. There was a penalty on Roosevelt. Now they will re-kick. By the way, our camera's located on the Yeah, I think we lost the internet for a second. It's not Well, maybe we'll come back for now. Our internet is pretty rough here up in Roosevelt. We only have currently 2.5 megs of upload speed, and for those of you that speak tech, you know that's probably not really enough for us to effectively upload a stream to YouTube. That's about the minimum. So, and it's kind of spotty at best. So we are hoping and trying that everything will work out. The Tigers did burn a timeout here, their first timeout here of the game. And yeah, we feel like we've been flying by the seat of our pants. Brandon Bird, Caleb Humble, he is our director here today, or really our producer, our TD kind of right now, Grayson Blaylock. We've got Kyle Cooper up on the main cam, Peter Brooks on a secondary camera. Don't believe we'll have replay for you tonight. Not enough time to set up. As we said, we got here maybe 30 minutes before the game started at best. Mansdorfer gets stripped, and there's a turnover for Erie, and Erie got to kind of lock things down here. And actually,
there's a flag on the play.
There is a flag. And I don't know if this will be a hold on Erie or a face mask on Roosevelt. It almost looks like one of the players, Connor Doucette, said that he face masked and it's his fault.
And it is. It's a face mask on Roosevelt.
Yep, and that bails Erie out.
Mansdorfer there just got it stripped off the side, not trying to go to Noah Roper in the flat, but then cut off quickly by some Roosevelt defenders.
It is still 4th down, though, for the Tigers. That does ease things a little bit, though. Oh, man. What a crazy day. And if you can believe it, 2 softball games, and now we're up here in Johnstown broadcasting a 3rd game. So if we start to sound a little hoarse, well, that's why. By the way, thank you. A shout out to Nicole O'Brien, who has kept us updated on the status of our stream via the chat. So thank you, Nicole. So 4th and 7 here for the Tigers. Mansdorfer is in the pistol. Roper behind him. Mansdorfer is going to get the snap roll. He's got a man open, and great catch, leaping and snaring that with the fingertips was Isaac Kana. And a good throw by Mansdorfer, rolling to his left. Caleb, that's always the toughest throw to make for a quarterback.
Yeah, especially for a righty back shoulder throw. But a great catch there from Isaac Kahana. Gets the Tigers a 1st down off the key. 4th and 7 after last time going down on 4 downs.
And that was set up primarily because of a face mask on Roosevelt that kept or gave the Tigers a 2nd 4th down chance. Mansdorfer keeps as Noah Roper was creamed in the backfield. It was the read option, and flying in there and flattening him was Caleb Templeman, and they actually announced his name on the intercom even though he didn't make the tackle. Templeman, the interior nose tackle here for this Rider team. 2nd and 9. This time they're going to split Roper out. They'll bring him across. Little jet sweep. Roper does not have it as Mansdorfer kept. It was a good read by Mansdorfer. There was a contained man that completely bottled or sealed off the edge, and Mansdorfer read that and kept, but nowhere going as the Tigers have had tough stuff. We've seen this, though, from the Tigers. Kind of some slow starts in some games against these good teams. Outside of that drive at Berthoud on the first drive of the game, they still didn't come away with points, but it was a good drive. Tigers sometimes take a little bit to settle into the rhythm of their run blocking. Now Mansdorfer will step, fire, and he's got a man, and Mansdorfer looking solid here tonight. That's another completed pass. That's Alex Mathis down to the 13.
Yeah, a lot of people really question Jacob Mansdorfer's soaring ability. He's a great running quarterback, losing Dion Lucero earlier in the season, but Jacob really showing off his arm here. Wow, that wraps up the 1st quarter.
Yep, that was the last play of the first quarter. That's a bummer for us because they were driving to our side of the field. They'll take a walk all the way down to the other side. We're going to mute this for a moment. We're going to try and save our voice as much as possible here today. We'll take a timeout here on the Erie Tiger Network. And welcome back in Erie Tiger Network. First and goal for first and 10 for the Tigers at the 14. Mansdorfer takes a snap, hands off Roper. He bends it back to the left, spins his way down, and is finally ridden down after a pickup of close to 4. Kind of tough to tell here from this far away.
Yeah, going down to the other side of the end zone. Kind of relying on the scoreboard here for yardages. Looks like he got to about the 9.
Yeah, they're going to mark him at the 10 on the scoreboard. We'll go with that. Another fake handoff, rolling wide open man, and he will overthrow his intended target was Mansdorfer. He had Zach Rees open in the flat. Had Zach gotten that and had Mansdorfer been able to set his feet and fire quickly, I think Rees might have walked into the end zone.
Yeah, there's no man up there near Zach. And just unfortunate there, another back shoulder throw, but really hard to execute those. Now a 3rd down and 6.
3rd and 6 from the 10. Play action again. They're going to run the same play. It's there again. This time it's caught by Rees, and he did walk into the end zone for a Tiger touchdown. And the Tigers are a 2-point conversion from tying this. I think they're still going to take the points here early and try and kick the extra point, although Tigers have had trouble kind of blocking that extra point this year.
Yeah, I mean, just even that with that touchdown there, you you see the same coverage, might as well run the same play. Just now knowing you got to make that throw.
Here's the snap. The kick is up, and it is a bullet right through the upright. So 8-7, Tigers trail it, but they engineer a nice little touchdown drive there, thanks in big part to a 4th down pickup. And how about that? 3 completions on this drive by Jacob Mansdorfer. That might be the most he's had all year in a game.
They're key completions too, coming down the field. And some of them 4th and 7, 3rd and 10, and then right there 3rd and 6 on the 10, trying to punch it in and executed.
Well, one thing coming into today, we thought this might be a real close ball game. We were excited to broadcast it. We were a little bummed that we knew we were going to be late. Trying to get out of the parking lot was actually the biggest obstacle at state softball, and unfortunately, that was the last softball game of the year.
Yeah, the softball team put up a great fight this year. Just a little too much to overcome, but I mean, great talent coming up this next year. I know the seniors are sad that this is their last run, but a lot of them going on to playing in college. So even with Karakovitz in the last inning hitting a solo home run, which is pretty cool.
So Gustine set to kick it off here. Send this one high into the Johnstown Knight and through the back of the end zone. And Julian, I think, a little juiced up here tonight. He has kicked a couple tracer bullets so far.
Yeah, he's really zoned in right now, trying to get this Tigers team going, trying to get this defense, get a stop, and hopefully come back down the same side of the field and be out there again to kick the extra point for the Tigers.
Fans, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Erie TigerNet. You can also check out the Erie Tiger Network Facebook page or like us on Facebook at Erie Tiger Network. Or just like us on Facebook. It's a long day, Caleb. Gonna be some mistakes here this evening. But as you can see, Roosevelt all the way on the opposite side of the field as us, as our cameraman Kyle does a good job zooming in and trying to give you the best picture we can. Handoff there on the right side. Tigers all over that one as it was strung out, and getting back to the line of scrimmage was Sanchez, and that's it. And he is hurt, and they just announced, I believe it was Brody Mickler on the tackle. They announce Chris Jolly, and I know that's not correct, as we've had, I believe it's Brody's dad come into the press box to let us know a few times that that name has been misassigned.
Yeah, but again, good stop by the Tigers, keeping it on 2nd and 10 on the same 20-yard line, trying to get those key stops on this drive.
And movement on the line, that's going to stop things here for a moment, and that's going to back up Roosevelt. And it'll be 2nd and 15.
They actually called offsides there on the Erie Tigers, so that's going to go back into a 2nd and 5.
Oh, man. It seemed like there are about 6 Erie Tigers that pointed to a Rider player. Don't see that too often. So 2nd and 5. Handoff, and quickly met in the hole. That was Cameron Marcucci. He just kind of stuck the arm out and brought the ball carrier to the turf.
I mean, with the length and mass of Cameron Marcucci, you don't want to get anywhere near him, because anywhere he could snatch you up. I mean, from a 6'8", he's just a big power machine, hopefully trying to play some college football. Great player, great personality. Actually a homecoming king through the Erie Tigers, so pretty cool there for Cameron.
Roosevelt, by the way, they've rushed for 1,600 yards on the year coming into today. The Tigers, as you know, they are probably about a 95% run team. They've rushed for 1,700 yards, if that lets you know anything about the Riders. They're attack a lot more bounce. 3 guys over 400 yards in Hurtado, Beal, and Sanchez. For the Tigers, Noah Roper already over 1,300 yards now in the season.
Yeah, and then the Tigers jumped again on another offsides. He gives Roosevelt a fresh set of downs.
And on the first down carry, not much going. Tigers have bottled up the run for the most part, except one big play that led to the touchdown. That was right as we got on the air. We didn't even have our sound up yet. But that's kind of the only play that's gashed him. Now penalties have stung him a little bit. 4 wide now in the formation for Roosevelt. Tigers showing blitz. They're going to roll to the right. They'll throw the quick out. Tigers diagnosed that one pretty well.
It's hard to stop that one rolling out to the flat. So, I mean, good job by the Tigers to not let him get the first down.
Yeah, that was Colby Wingfield. The Tigers even sent a blitz from that side. It was picked up pretty well, but that's going to bring up about a 3rd and 3.
Yeah, and Sanchez a couple of plays ago for the Rough Riders gotten hit and still on a examining table, but that's a key factor for the Roosevelt Rough Riders.
Tigers would love a stop here in the shotgun. Dropping back to pass is Templeton. It's a screen. It's set up nicely. And nice shoestring tackle that time. I think that was Colby Wingfield that was able to get there. And I'm not sure they did get the first down, but boy, that was set up like it could have gone about 60 yards. Tigers front really aggressive. They've been a little bit susceptible to the screen this year, but Wingfield luckily kept that one to a limited game.
Tigers going man coverage here.
Hard count in the backfield that time by Biel.
Trying to get us to jump offside with already 3 calls off an offside.
There's the handoff, a nice hole, and good job just kind of weaving his way through traffic was Hurtado. And Hurtado will pick up enough for a first down. So Roosevelt putting together another good drive here. Tiger front's pretty good, but Roosevelt's almost been using their aggressiveness against them, throwing some counters at them, screens, and they've gotten Tigers pretty good here a couple times. There's a snap, handoff, and that time going nowhere. And bunch of Tigers in the backfield that time. Spencer Brooks back there. Jaden Gilmore, though, I think was the one that got penetration in the tackle for the loss. That'll bring up a 2nd and 12.
Yeah, now you see Jacob Mansdorfer playing both ways. Now having Dion Lucero back on the active roster. So Jacob, a very good asset on this defense. And if he gets hurt, he still have a very good backup coming in as Dion Lucero.
2nd 11 play. Beal takes it. He's got a seam, and he fumbled the ball into the hands of Roper, who's still on his feet. He's going the other way. Roper weaves through traffic, and he will score. Noah Roper, a Tiger touchdown on a turnover, gives the Tigers the lead.
Great awareness there from Noah Roper, seeing the ball getting stripped out and taking advantage of the lineman trying to stop him and switching fields quickly and just using that burst of speed.
Man, it fell into the wrong person's hands if you're the Riders.
That's the one person you don't want to have that football.
And he made one move. That's all it really took. And he was in open space, and he housed it. Extra point snap is good. The kick is up, and it is right down the pipe. And the Tigers take a 14-8 lead on a huge fumble 6. So 14-8.
Caleb Humble. You're watching the Erie Tiger Network. Hi, my name is Caleb Humble. You're watching the Erie Tiger Network.
Welcome back in, Erie Tiger Network. How about that? A fumble 6 here as Roosevelt was kind of driving. It was even a good play set up, and someone just stuck their paw. I couldn't see who it was, but they just literally reached out and stripped it away. As you saw Caleb Humble, our own Caleb Humble, in our own promo.
Yeah, making a promo graphic, Erie Tiger Network class. Trying to represent an old Disney commercial, so kind of having some fun here in Erie Tiger Network.
Man, and Castine has been booming them here tonight. Something's gotten into him. Those are
altitude difference. That's really not a big factor. I think he's just really amped up for this game, trying to get these Tigers this big win over top 5 opponent in the state. Also coming up next week, another top 5 matchup between Erie Tigers and the Meade Mavericks out of Erie High School, so wouldn't be a shocker that'd be up for a 9 News Game of the Week again for Erie Tigers.
If Erie wins, that's going to be more, and Meade wins. At worst, that'll be a matchup of 1 versus 3, maybe 1 versus 2, who knows. That is going to be maybe the most exciting atmosphere for a game in, well, this millennium.
I mean, when you come into Meade in the past couple of years, you pretty much have not had a lot of hope, but this team really bringing some hope to this little town and really showing the best out of here. I mean, the amount of people that come out to this away game, about 35 minutes away, is insane. So
Tigers able to bottle up that first down run. That'll bring up a 2nd and 10. Tigers have been beaten on the counter and the read a couple times, but they just made the 2 big plays that matter. That's the second turnover forced today for Erie. A little handoff there, and man, you're going to try and run it straight at the Tiger defense. That's going to be tough sledding as those linemen really good at getting off their blocks. I mean, we've seen some big games lately out of Nathan Hackney, Cameron Marcucci, Jordan Kremers.
Sorry, no, Hunter Kremers, he graduated last year. We got Jaden Gilmore out there, Alex Mathis, really trying to, more of a, since Jacob Mansdorfer came in, really not been in such a prominent role because Jacob doesn't really like throwing the ball downfield as much, but really trying to do his best on defense and getting those blocks out for anyone who's coming down his side.
Now here comes a pass. It's a fly route, little push out by the receiver. He caught it, and I think they might call OPI. There was a little push off by the Roosevelt receiver. He pushed his hand off and got a little bit of separation. I don't know what they'll call here, though, and they will call it against Roosevelt. So, by the way, I met Jamie Nelms. I've said Kremers a couple times today.
Jordan Kremer's a junior cheerleader for our Erie Tigers. So
she's in my advisory class. I don't even know what's up with that.
But so, yeah, Jamie Nelms, great junior coming up. Actually, went to a couple of combines with Noah Roper this past summer. So Jamie, a really great lineman, trying to come in and do some work, trying to get into a college, playing for anywhere really, but great athlete.
The Roosevelt fans don't like it now. I mean, that was a borderline call. They did call offensive pass interference, but that was the first thing I thought when I saw that was, oh, there's a little push off. They might call that. Dang it.
And Sanchez also for the Rough Riders, big factor. See him now on the sidelines without any shoes on with crutches on, so a little tough loss there for the Rough Riders. Ball up the left sideline, and a good gain there for Roosevelt on a 2nd and 20. Got the first down off a jet sweep, and now a first down for the Rough Riders.
We thought we maybe went down for a second. I think we're okay. Pretty good pickup there, though, for the Riders on a real long situation to go.
Yeah, it was a good play call, seeing most of the coverage on the left side and having that jet sweep coming down.
Tell you what, Roosevelt has some good athletes once they get into space. A couple times tonight we've seen, though, them not have any space at all. I think for them it's how well will they create some holes. Here comes a little draw play, and Jaden Gilmore grabs Beal by the helmet and tosses him to the turf, and now a Tiger down on the play.
That'll be Jaden Gilmore.
And
Jaden's been injured a few times this past year. Really, I think he's playing this year on actually being injured constantly, but his senior year, and he's trying to push through the pain and trying to play as well as he can. Jaden being helped off on his own weight, so good to see there for Jaden. Senior for this Tigers. Plays both ways.
Just real quick, just the whole bag.
4:23 left in this half. Tigers up 14-8. It's also another talent coming up next year, a junior, Spencer Brooks. Really a great athlete. Plays basketball, too. Just a great kid in a Erie Tiger Network class, too, so that always makes it fun. 2nd and 6 on the 36 for Roosevelt. Hands it off. Spins and quickly tackled there from the Erie Tigers. Have a short gain.
I want to separate. I'm looking for.
And it'll be a 3rd down. Key 3rd down here, trying to see if they can get one more drive before the half ends.
I'll wait till commercial. All right, 3rd and 6 here. Bell in the backfield. He's got 4 wide. He'll hand it off, though, and good job by Hurtado, and he almost got stripped. Just held on to that one. And it was Spencer Brooks that got his arm in there.
Like I said, Spencer Brooks trying to come in there and make them tackles. But a first down on the 46 for the Rough Riders. The shotgun here. Takes the snap. Fakes it out, going to the wide receiver. Missed tackle there and spins. And gets to the 46. On the other side. This looks like to be a 2nd and 4 for the Rough Riders. Tigers trying to get a stop here, trying to see if they can have not get a score here, or trying to even get the ball back one more time and go back down the field. And the shotgun again. Throws it out to the flat and drops it. And it's incomplete. Coach Cooper wanted their lateral pass and dropped it, so if he did drop that, it'd be a lateral pass. That would have been a fumble. So Tigers team not really being a heads up there, just kind of letting the ball be dead before the referee even blew it dead. So 3rd down and 4 now on the 46-yard line of the Erie Tigers. Takes the snap, draws up the middle, and it's swallowed up there. Tackle there by Whit Unruh, and a first down for Roosevelt. New set of downs. First down now on the 44. Tigers still trying to get a stop with just over 2 minutes left in this half. Again out of the shotgun. Snap rolling to his right, looking to throw. Throws it high and is incomplete off the sideline. Good coverage there. Second and 10 from the 44 here.
All right, sorry everyone. We forgot to plug in our hotspot. We almost went down. So we got that plugged in, and then so thank you, Caleb, for stepping in there for a moment.
Anytime.
And riding solo. So 2nd and 10 here after the incomplete pass. That was awful close, though.
That was scary. I mean, the closest Tiger was like a few yards back, so, I mean, another back shoulder throw. And the shotgun gets snapped. Looks left, airs it.
Underthrown, but was it caught? And they say it is.
It looked like it was bobbled, and then looked like he caught it there. So that's going to be a 1st and goal from the 8-yard line.
And we had no angle at that up here. We might have to go ask Spencer or Peter down there. He might have had the best look of anyone.
He is right there, right on that sideline.
Now here comes the 1st and goal snap. And it's another fumble, and the Tigers jump on it again. And turnovers have absolutely destroyed Roosevelt. Maybe they jumped on it back, and they did. They got it back. There were 2 Tigers that jumped on that football, and neither one could hold on to it. Just slipped right through their hands.
Yeah, Beal right there lost it and quickly turned around. It looked like it was fumbled by one of the Tigers' defensive players, but quickly gathered back up there by Beal. So good effort there trying to get back.
And what a kooky turn of events that was. That was almost jubilation.
Now timeout
for the
Roosevelt.
Tigers.
Minute 27 left in this half. 14-8 Erie Tigers.
Once again, we're just going to go silent here for just a little bit. Save our voices. You can kind of hear both of them getting a little tired.
We're trying.
You're on the Erie Tiger Network.
Hi, I'm Maya Michelson, and you're watching Erie Tiger Network. Hi, I'm
And welcome back in Erie Tiger Network. By the way, went back, saw the fumble. Good job, Kyle Cooper, on the camera work. Got to give him the shout out. Second and goal now from the 11. Tigers couldn't hop on that loose football. That was the third fumble they forced. And there's a handoff up the middle and a good tackle by Cameron Marcucci to get to that, as Hurtado had just a lot of daylight in front of him.
Quick snap here on the 6-yard line. 3rd and 6.
Roosevelt, they're going to fake it. It's going to be a pass. It's well covered by the Tigers.
Hurry up here. Try not to burn any timeouts. Great throw there from Dion Lucero.
Yeah, great throw from Dion. This is the first time we've seen him in a while. So roll to his left. Fires again, and that's underthrown, and it's picked off.
Good play there by the defense, but Dion Lucero trying to get a little greedy there, but with 28 seconds left in the half, it's really hard not to take any shots downfield, but great defensive work there from that defender. I believe that defender was Justin Pagel.
Sorry, folks, we are cramped for space, and so we had our computer unplugged. That caused a little bit of a haywire in our stream. And I think we're back up. We have worked all week on getting our computer a little more set up for Wirecast. And all right, so 28.8 ticks left. They're going to run a little sweep here into the open field. And Roper just kind of reached out and tackled a man with one arm.
Doesn't seem like you really see Noah Roper missing a lot of tackles ever, so good to see him out there in the back.
Man, and Jamie Nelms was hot coming out of that little pileup there near the sideline. 16 seconds left. I think that might do it here, and Roosevelt's going to have a 1-point lead here at halftime. The Tigers have been excellent at adjustments in the locker room. We'll see what kind of adjustments they can make here. So we are going to mute our mics for a little bit, or at least we're going to undress the headsets, and then we'll regroup here as the Tigers, they trail it by 1 here on the Erie Tiger Network.
welcome to the future cheerleaders of Roosevelt High School.
I only have a few pieces left.
Cheers and a dance here halftime
I
enjoyment.
brought them
Parents,
Chick-fil-A.
remember the performance you make.
Nicole O'Brien.
Cheerleaders and
Enjoy your halftime break.
where they will be given
Hey, do you have
what?
that HDMI cord? That 30-foot HDMI cord that I can potentially borrow? 30 from you?
Well,
What?
hey, what do you need it for?
I was using wardrobe, maybe.
What do you want?
And nothing's gonna work.
Would you grab HDMI out of the big bag? I just want you. You want a piece of pizza? You thought you could use the seat. You won't need another jacket. I'm good. I'm gonna give you the choice. You can stay down there where you are, or you can go onto the Tigers sideline and go get shots of the students after a big play happens.
Thank you.
Shots of the sideline. I will have this back to you. I think I'm going to say where
I will can I share it with you?
Did anyone give you guff? Like brief for being down there?
You guys got it rolling?
Bird, can I have a slice?
Okay, I was so disappointed when we lost because we weren't going to have to play Valor.
Hey, I'm actually okay with it.
Well, I had a feeling
We would have lost badly if we played Valor. Like,
Yeah, but we
10
weren't going
runs.
to play Valor. That's why.
Yeah, but
Like
that's
10
why
runs.
It was sad.
We would have gotten 10 runs.
What was that?
get that back to you.
I swear, I was
this year at Roosevelt High School. Jake Alejano plays the bass drum. Brooke Bates on the bass clarinet. Jasmine Borchard on the baritone saxophone. Cameron Eldridge on the marimba. Nicole Engelking on the flute. Sarah Ford, color guard. Echo Golden, baritone. Zachary Liebman, trumpet. Zekiah Linton, tenor saxophone. Isaac Orozco, alto saxophone. Chandler Russell, alto saxophone. Joshua Tingley, snare drum. Chance Trujillo, trombone. And Aubrey Wallace, drum major. Let's hear it for this year's seniors. Now, Rough Rider fans, please raise and stand and clap as the music of the RHS fight song is played. The Rough Rider Marching Band. Rough Rider Marching Band is under the direction of Mr. John Balderson with assistance from Mr. Tim Sanchez, percussion instructor, and Mr. Jim Farrell, drill design. If you have any questions about the RHS Band program, please contact Mr. John Balderson.
snap zooms. How everyone can see the snap. This is like the coolest part of school.
Attention fans, they are out there. School buses full of children. Please be aware of the fact that when the yellow lights are flashing, the bus is getting ready to stop, either to pick up students or to drop them off back at their home stop. Flashing red lights mean the children are either getting on the bus or getting off the bus. Once the lights change to flashing red, the law requires you to stop and stay stopped until those lights are off and the stop sign is retracted. Let's avoid the things like a mandatory court appearance, $200 to $400 fine, loss of 6 points on your driver's license, not to mention elevated insurance costs. Let's all drive safely around the schools and school buses.
Should we go back on? Would you look at this shot?
All right, everybody, welcome back in. We are real close to getting all started here for the second half, a real long halftime for everyone. Excuse me. Real long halftime for everyone out here, and hopefully that kind of gave Erie some time to make some adjustments. Caleb, if you're Coach Cooper in the locker room, what kind of adjustments are you trying to make?
Well, saying you got to start getting some of those key stops. Really having some mental mistakes early on, having 3 offside calls, and just really you just got to more stay aware of what's going to happen, get those stops, and get the offense going, because offense is rolling right now. You got Jacob Mansdorfer making some good passes, Dion Lucero coming in for the last drive, so don't know if he's going to be starting the second half, but overall, good start. A lot of the points, I mean, almost all the points are off turnovers, not off a Erie drive, so really got to start getting downfield off of just Erie's drives, but containing Roosevelt is going to be really tough for the second half. They're a great side trying to make a name for themselves, being the number 5, trying to make a statement here, being the number 3 seed in the state, so seems to be like a really great matchup here facing up.
By the way, don't forget to follow us on social media. You can like the Erie Tiger Network Facebook page. You can follow us on Twitter at Erie Tiger Net. And we just are about to Instagram out what our booth looks like, as we are up on the Roosevelt, basically in the bleachers amongst the fans. And I noticed that we got a little bit of
Got some looks.
Yeah, looks when that Noah Roper touchdown happened.
Yeah, going crazy, and his fans are kind of just stunned at that moment. But hey, this Erie Tiger Network, we're gonna keep it rolling like we always do.
So Erie will receive here this half, and that might be huge this half. Erie gets to start with the possession. This feels like it might come down to the very last possession of this football game. By the way, it almost looks like there's kind of some haze or fog.
That's look like some dust coming up. There's some gravel down there.
Little burner. Tigers will let it roll out of bounds. I actually don't think that ever hit an Erie Tiger, and the ref took the flag out of his pocket. Oh, yep, he is waving it.
That's going to be a flag on Roosevelt for the illegal kick going out of bounds.
And, well, I actually think they're saying the flag was waved off. I think that they're saying Erie touched the football before it went out. And we're looking on the replay, and I don't think it was ever touched.
That's okay. It looks like it's at the same spot, so 5 yards is not much of a difference. Wouldn't get a 1st and 5, but just moved up a couple of yards.
By the way, we're not going to any commercials tonight. Our stream's pretty fragile. Sometimes when we switch our media source, it kind of fritzes, and Noah Roper gets devoured. 2-yard loss for Roper on the first carry of the half. And the Tigers moving backward here. Dion Lucero has come out as the quarterback here for the Tigers.
Seeing him back is a good sign. Great arm, very fast. Trying to see if he can capitalize here, trying to get this Tigers rolling.
Lucero sends a man in motion. He'll take the snap, hands it off to Roper, right up the middle, big hole. Roper jumping over a man, and I think he was just lassoed, maybe about a half a yard shy of the first down. And man, Noah Roper looks like he was shot out of a rocket there. 3rd down, they're gonna quick count this one. They're gonna hand it to Roper. He'll string it on the left side, gets through the initial line of scrimmage into the secondary, and another nice chunk of yardage there for Noah Roper.
Looks like he's buttered up there. You got buttered up at halftime, getting really not just going straight through the line and getting those kind of to get downfield, but the linebacker's doing a good job trying to stop Roper. But
yeah, putting the Crisco on the jerseys.
Yeah. That'll do it for
old
sure.
school football. 1st and 10 now. Lucero will check in with the sideline. Tigers have 2 wide, one to the near side, one to the far side.
Tyler Gardner and Alex Mathis out there.
And if the Tigers could get some consistency in the passing game, that'd go a long way. Roper bounces it to the outside, still on his feet, plowing his way up the sideline. And Noah Roper is just rumbling through this Rider defense here to start the half. And I think one thing is, hey, line, you got to put this game on your shoulders. And so far, we're seeing them come out and give a little punch to the mouth of the Riders.
Giving Noah Roper some really big holes here, trying to fill those gaps. So great job by this offensive line.
Duel out to the right. A tight end and an H-back. So heavy stack to the right side. Ball spotted, though, on the far side.
On the 38-yard line.
Lucero's going to check the play at the line here. Dion takes the snap, hands off, and that is, I believe, Wingfield that checked into the game. And that was Wingfield that pops up off the turf. Pretty sure that's Wing, and it is. PA announcer said Roper, so had me second guessing. 2nd and 11 here.
Wingfield staying in the game. Trying to give Noah Roper a little rest. Caleb Furman, Tyler Gardner out.
We'll send Gardner in motion. Now they're going to roll toward Furman's side. They'll throw it in the flat. That's Rees. He has it across the 30. Makes a man miss. He's tackled from behind, but he has a first down, and the Tigers fumbled the ball. I never saw that, and they fumbled, and Roosevelt picked it up. So after a great start to the drive, the Tigers turn it over.
That looked like one of the first drives that Roosevelt had, going straight down the field, but then stripped down from Erie Tigers. So now this Tigers defense really needs to get a good stop here.
And our stream's about 30 seconds behind real time. We're watching here on the replay. Gosh, that looks like Zach Rees is way down to me, but hard to tell. Don't have a great angle. As we said, we're on the left side of the stadium. That bench kind of blocked our view. So first down here for the Riders. And good job filling the hole as Marcucci tumbled over the top. As Trent Beal was the ball carrier. I think that was Spencer Brooks on the tackle. Now he'll rotate out. Tigers trying to keep those linemen fresh. Not an ideal start. You had a great drive going, really asserting dominance on the line, and then turned it over.
I think on the turnover for Reese, when he got tackled from behind, the player punched the ball out, couldn't see it, and the Roosevelt player fell on it, and they couldn't see it because the Roosevelt player's right there, but I think that's what happened.
Snap to Beal, looking right, fires right in the flat. It's caught and well defended that time by the Tigers. That was Isaac Kana on the coverage, and that's a gain of maybe 1 or 2. That's going to bring up 3rd and 6 here for the Riders.
Tigers defense trying to get a good stop, trying to get the ball back, start fresh.
Third and 6. Ball spotted on the 27. Riders will pass it here. A little screen in the middle, and that was a tunnel screen that was well set up. And there's a flag. I think you're going to have an illegal man downfield. That ball was thrown beyond the line of scrimmage, and there were multiple linemen well beyond the line to gain. So that's going to be, I think, an illegal man downfield, and that's going to back up the Riders. And so illegal man downfield is the call. So they tried to set up the screen. It was well designed, but when the ball's caught beyond the line, you cannot have offensive linemen running down the field, and that's why you see that call.
If that weren't such a thing, then you could have those linemen just start going full blast, going down the field, and really it's going to create some injuries because those tall guys going against the corners, and that just doesn't, it's a recipe for disaster. Now 3rd and 10, the Roosevelt 23.
That's a big break there for Erie. Is after the turnover, you'd really like to get the stop. And our internet's going all kinds of haywire down here on the sideline. I hope that we are with you. Beal's gonna throw, almost intercepted, but caught. That's gonna be real close to a first down, and it is. Good route run just beyond the line to gain.
Good throw there from the Roosevelt QB.
Beals has looked real good here for Roosevelt in this game. Tigers, they've been had a few times on 3rd and long, and they've been solid on the passing game, but the screen game, I think, has kind of stymied the Tiger pass rush a little bit.
Sends a man in motion.
Beals will take the snap. He'll pitch the option out there, and Hurtado gets stood up, and a slew of white jerseys come in to clean things up. Tigers have not seen the pitch option very often.
Tackle there by Spencer Brooks, Erie Tiger Network student.
Brother Peter down there on the field, one of our sideline cameramen, kind of gave him the option to what he wanted to do. He chose one side of the field, and right now, ball not on that side. Now a handoff, and just kind of a massive humanity there. As it's 3rd and short. Tigers have struggled on 3rd down defensively tonight. See if they can finally get one here.
This Tigers line really needs to make sure to try to get through those holes, not letting any. Looks like they're going to run it here very heavy on the left side. Takes a snap, fakes a handoff, looks back.
All alone is Hurtado up the sideline, and still on his feet and coming over to belt him hard. Out of bounds was Augustin Salas, and another first down conversion. They have really run some misdirection here, and that's got Erie out of sorts. Well-designed offensive game plan here for Roosevelt. Now 1st and 10 here. Tigers would love to try and force another turnover. Handoff up the middle, and good job falling forward for a few yards there was Jared Sturkle. And it's now 2nd and 7. Roosevelt running a little counter action again, and almost a horse collar there. It's only a horse collar if the player is brought downward or back into the player. If you reach and hold on, it's not a horse collar. There has to be some type of jerking motion.
Be set up now for 1st down on the 14-yard line of Erie, trying to get a stop here, trying to minimize the damage on this side.
There goes the snap, handoff to the fullback. He weaves his way, no one saw him, and he scoots into the end zone for a Roosevelt touchdown. Everyone on the defense that time was following the halfback, and it was the fullback that had it. Little old school power football. That was Noah Craig, and he puts Roosevelt on top by 7. And this is to make it an 8-point lead Snap is good. The hold is good. The kick is up. And it is good. That was David Zahn on the extra point. Roosevelt strikes first blood here in the second half. They lead it 22-14. We're going to rest our voices here for a moment here on the Erie Tiger Network. Welcome back in, Erie Tiger Network. Tigers trail it here by 8 after the fumble deep into Roosevelt territory, and then a couple third down pickups by Roosevelt. Really got the drive going, and they punched it into the end zone with the fullback. Another little squibber. Tigers have had trouble handling this. Roper will pick it up. Cutting back. He's got a lane. Just needs to beat 1 or 2 men, and he's into the open field. Across the 40. He's got 1 man to beat that has the angle on him. He will stop and just be brought down. Oh, man. It was the last man, TJ Sterling. He had the angle on him, and there wasn't much Noah could do, but a big return sets up Erie with great field position.
Really, all those Roosevelt defenders going down there, and Noah trying to find that ball with squib, trying to figure out how it's going to bounce, and really fortunate there. Had great blocks coming up the field and took advantage with his speed going up the side of the field, even though he had 1 man to beat. Tried to cut him off, but still going on the 11-yard line.
And Noah Roper made a move on that kick return where he moved sideways faster than I can run forward. So 1st and 10 here at the 11. Tigers could get a first down inside the 1. And Noah Roper catching his breath. It's Wingfield in the backfield. Lucero's going to run play action. He has a man. He fires into the flat. It's caught. Turning upfield is Rees, and Rees will be pushed out at about the 2. And another good play. And, hey, the Tigers have some passing games, or some gains in the passing game going on tonight. Now Preston Van Landingham, well, he was in there for a moment. They'll sub Roper back in, just caught his breath here for a moment.
Trying to get some power running here, trying to get this punched in on the 2-yard line.
So handoff to Roper, spins, and he is planted right on his back. Spun around, and there was a rider waiting for him, face mask to face mask, and he will lose a yard on the play. So now 3rd and 2 from the 3.
That looked like that was Connor Doucette in there for the big tackle.
Tigers try and get Roosevelt to jump. Now Dion looks to the sideline. He sprints over there real quick. The back judge has his hand up. Now counting down. 3 seconds left, and a timeout's going to be called here by Coach Cooper. Well, you love the big plays, obviously, but Caleb, a little bit struggle time. Never feels like the Tiger offense has kind of found their groove.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to find their rhythm here, just trying to get those in, kind of like a golf swing. Playing a golfer here, trying to really get that tempo, trying to get up and down the field. Thanks to Mr. Fox there for that comment. Trying to combine football with golf.
So 3rd and 2 here for the Tigers. Obviously, you've had some success kind of in the play action little passing game there. The Tigers have thrown for a touchdown tonight. But if you're Coach Cooper, what are you dialing up here? Are you going right up the gut with Noah, or are you trying to maybe get on the edge in the passing game again?
Well, it seems as if right now they're going to go power up the middle, but last time when they ran that same play, they got swallowed up quickly.
They will give it to Noah up on the left side, churning the legs, leans it forward. I think he's across the goal line, waiting for a signal. And I think they're going to mark him short, but that should be enough for a first down.
That's a first and goal for the Tigers on the 1 yard line.
So like we said, there was enough room to squeeze in a first down, and they got it.
So now a fresh set of downs.
Can the Tigers punch it? Now you got to imagine the Tigers probably willing to punch it ahead about 3 straight times with Roper. They'll send a man in motion. They really stack the box. Hand off to Roper up the middle. Tries to slide, rolls over the top of a defender and punches his way across the plane.
Tigers now for the 2-point conversion, trying to tie the game up at 22-all. Snap to Roper. Actually, play action to the back of the end zone. And is not brought down. That looked like to Jaden Gilmore in the corner.
All right, so the Tigers down by a couple here. What we call burp the stream. We just kind of bring it off and back online real quick, and that seems to be good at fixing it. We are operating at minimum capacity on our internet speed here in Roosevelt tonight. We have a connection with our hotspot, but it is weak. So I'm a little bit surprised that we've been cruising as decently as we have. Unfortunately, the Tigers don't convert, and Castine will kick it off here. Now, Roosevelt's been pooching the ball, but Castine has sent it through the end zone several times here tonight.
See if you can add that to another one, not letting them bring the ball out. Very dangerous.
This one high into the air, and that will be a... Well, they'll let them bring it out, and the Tigers down there quick. Good coverage on special teams, and I'm not sure that ever got to the 20.
That is on the 18-yard line. So pretty much lost 2 yards there. It takes the ball inside the goal and gets a touchback. The new Chassa rules. So now 1st and 10 on the 18-yard line. 2:30 left in this third quarter.
This is a big defensive series, I think, Caleb, for the Tigers. They've had kind of trouble at times stopping Erie and, stopping Roosevelt. You got to see them kind of make not more than just one big play or a lucky bounce. You want to see them get a 4th down stop.
Really been playing mostly solid defense all night. It's just the plays, the big plays downfield that really help. It's like the little laps coming down. So, I mean, just got to stay composed and make sure you know your job.
Erie has forced 2 turnovers. They have also let the Riders score on 3 of their drives. And Roosevelt has not punted tonight.
And neither have the Tigers either, I don't believe. So, been very interesting.
Little counter action again, wide open, no one within 20 yards, and he stepped out of bounds. It was a good gain, but with no one around, Victor Hernandez stepped out, and the Tigers lost coverage. And I mean, there was no one within 20 yards of Hernandez. Good throw on the run, too. Hernandez kind of had to stop and adjust a little bit, and that's what forced him to step out. Good call by the official. You can see that up here as well. So another big play in the passing game on a down and distance that is pretty long. Tigers trying to reshuffle their D-line before the snap here. It looks like they're going to double blitz the A-gap, and they do. But a flag called and a false start. So that'll back Roosevelt up 5 yards.
Kind of trying to get one of those linemen to jump. Linebackers come in, start trying to get them riled up and force one of them to move early. So backing that up, 1st and 15 now. Back on the Roosevelt 47.
Tigers here on the road in Johnstown, a tough place to play and win. Really a tight-knit community up here. And this Rider team has been good for a long time. Now play action again. This time it's pretty well covered down the field. Caught back across the field. And that's still short of a first down, but it's across the 40 to the 39.
Great throw by Beal there. That's one of the hardest throws to make as a quarterback, on a back shoulder back in the middle.
Tell you what, you're the quarterback coach. You do not want to see him make that throw again across the field. That is highly dangerous. Hard to see players coming underneath.
Even to have some Tigers in the area too. Just a great grab there.
So now 1st and 15 leads to about 2nd and 3, a long 3 here. Shotgun snap, Tigers blitz, and they get a big sack. Oh, flying into the backfield. Making a big play that time was Brody Mickler. And Brody Mickler on the sack.
3rd down and 12 now. Pretty much lost all the yardage that they got on that other play, so back to pretty much where they started.
And this is probably going to be the last play of the 3rd quarter. Under 20 ticks to go. Well, we might see an incomplete pass here. See when they get the snap off. They'll roll to the right. Beal looking downfield. Stepping out of one tackler. Still on his feet. And still on his feet. Tigers let Beal get a first down and then some. Oh my goodness. This has been just a disaster on 3rd and longs for the Tigers tonight. And that is the last play of the quarter. Beal eluded about 5 Erie tacklers. And it was well blocked once Beal broke the line of scrimmage. He was dead to rights. He had nowhere to go on the sideline and made something out of nothing. We're going to step aside here for a moment here on the Erie Tiger Network. All right, welcome back in. Hard pill to swallow, the last play of the 3rd quarter. Tigers had Beal bottled up deep in the backfield after a big sack that backed him up to 3rd and long, and then somehow Beal able to stay on his feet, weaves through traffic, and picks up the first down. So now ball all the way on the opposite side of the field from our booth. And someone moved, and I think that's going to be a Rider, and it is. So another false start here. Tigers starting to show some pressure, and it's getting the line for Roosevelt a little bit antsy.
Really, this game is going to come down to the battle of these defenses. Just like with softball today, battle of the defenses. And really, this defense has played solid all game. It's just the big plays going downfield. I mean, just can't let the big plays be really big plays.
Yeah, it kind of feels like 2 steps forward and then 1 giant step back for this defense tonight. A lot of 3rd and longs that Roosevelt's been able to convert. Now power I formation here. Little handoff to the fullback, and that time Cam Marcucci not fooled. And so that'll bring up 2nd and 15.
Great move there to get right through the line, and notice it gets right to the fullback and immediately tackled him. So great move there for Cam Marcucci.
Time, not a huge factor yet. Tigers still close in this one. Don't want to give up the touchdown. There's a pitch to the far side. Strung out nicely by the Tigers. And once again, 2 good stops there on 1st and 2nd. And that'll bring up 3rd and about 14. Hurtado tried to stretch it out, and the Tigers were there. Now Hurtado a little bit gimpy as he walks back to the huddle.
That's be a 3rd and 16 now. It's kind of like the same in the last time coming down, but really need to buckle down and make sure you guys stop this as far back as possible, even to try to minimize a field goal attempt, because that's still a 40-yard field goal attempt from here. So
Tigers have brought pressure the last few times. Beal gets devoured right into the teeth of the defense, into the belly of Cam Marcucci, and now it's 4th and real long. And Tigers, they're tired of letting Beal run around back there and roll. They have started to send some pressure. I like that from Coach Mickens. He says, well, we've given you plenty of time to throw. Now we're just not going to give you any time until you prove you can get the ball out of your hand quick.
And it looks like now Roosevelt is going to go for it on 4th down, making a bunch of subs, but still keeping in quarterback, not really showing any signs of it yet.
Tigers got to be leery of a screen here. Been a little bit susceptible to that, and a timeout coming from the Roosevelt sideline. So under 10 minutes to play. It's a tight one like we thought it might in a big game. And Meade looks to be on their way to moving to 8-0. Might we see a battle of 8-0 teams, or will the Tigers drop one? And that is going to be a war next week. And last year up at Meade, the Tigers were kind of lockstep with them. And then Noah Roper fumbled, and it was picked up and returned the other way for a touchdown. And that kind of how that one went. So Tigers hoping for a different fate next week. So big play coming up here. And Roosevelt, I think it's smart they're going for it. Don't really have, I'm guessing, the field goal kicker to handle that kick. Too close to punt. Might as well take a shot at it. You still don't give the Tigers great field position. Beal under center. He's going to fake. It's a reverse. Tigers diagnose. It's lollipopped up. It's intercepted. And the Tigers will actually get worse field position because it was intercepted, but they forced their third turnover of the night. There's a pebble in.
Intercepted there from Augustin Sales, so new set of downs now for the Tigers, trying to come down the field, and even a field goal takes the lead in this game with only 9:35 left in this, so got to take advantage of everything now left in this game. Great battle between the two top five teams in 3A.
So interesting call there, the little reverse pass Does not work out for Roosevelt.
I mean, don't blame them. They've had their way on a couple of trick plays so far this game. Dion Lucero in for the snap.
Here
Steps
goes
back.
Lucero rolls. He's got to get rid of it. Lucero staying on his feet. Looking a little bit like Beals there. And then he fumbled, but I think they're going to call progress as dead. He was stacked up by a few riders there.
Second and 13 now from the Tigers on their own 13-yard line. 2 out on the left side. Alex Mathis lined up on the right.
Lucero in the pistol again here. This time a little almost quasi-screen here, trying to get Roper into space. Good pick up there by the Tigers. That'll make it a little more manageable of a third down. And that's what you want to see. The Tigers get the ball in the hands of Roper, but in space.
Third down and 10 now. Lucero takes the snap, rolls left. Getting past the Roosevelt defender. Pass is made and it's caught. Oh, first it looked like he ruled that it was caught, but changed the call to a out of bounds. Count the ball out of bounds, so now it'll be a 4th and 10. And it looks like this is the first time the punting unit will be out for the Tigers.
Well, just frustration for the Tigers. As soon as you get the defense going, the offense unable to get a first down and sputtering a little bit. Tigers threw it 3 straight times. See what Roosevelt does here. The snap almost over the head. Costine bobbled it, loses it, trying to run away. Costine still on his feet, and he will be brought short. And now it's great field position for the Riders. Oh boy, Costine did good just to get it out of the end zone and avoid a safety. Once he got past the initial rush, he kind of put his head down. Almost would have liked to see him try and get the punt off anyway. Instead, it's now a Rider 1st and 10 from the 14. I thought for a second, though, I had flashes of Beal weaving through the Tiger defense and thought we might see something similar.
Julian Costine with unknown burst of speed, but giving up some crucial key position for Roosevelt here, trying to punch one in, but Tigers defense need to stay strong.
Roosevelt 5 wide empty backfield. It'll be a little jet sweep kind of forward toss, and that one's going nowhere. In fact, that was well covered. Mansdorfer in there on the tackle. Noah Roper, I think, kind of came and cleaned him up. Under or close to 8 minutes now.
Look like a 2-yard gain there, 2nd and 8.
Tigers defense has been a little bit more stout here in the last few minutes. And a pre-snap whistle.
And there'll be a false start on Roosevelt here, backing them up another 5 yards. Be another 2nd and 13 now.
That is already the 3rd false start of the quarter for Roosevelt.
A little frustrated there, a little frustrating for Roosevelt, but trying to take advantage of that situation. Maybe even try to get them, tackle them behind the line to get them. Right now they'd be at the 18-yard line, so back them up even more. There might not even be a field goal even chance. So Tigers trying to take advantage of that.
So 2nd and 13 now from the 17. Once again, 4 wide in the formation. Beals will hand it off. Hurtado gets swallowed up that time by Marcucci. I think he got back to just beyond the original line of scrimmage. That's going to bring up 3rd and 9 here for Roosevelt. Kind of in 2-down territory, at least what we've seen so far. If Roosevelt were to kick the field goal, though, that kind of will take the Tigers' options or limit the Tigers' options. Can't just settle for a field goal. And that's what this game came down to last year. Tigers had a field goal opportunity, and it was blocked at the last play of the game. Another good battle here tonight. Beals looks, had a man on the out, fired across the field. It's tipped almost into the hands of the receiver.
Isaac Ahana there trying to catch it, but tips it up and just barely in front of the Roosevelt wide receiver, but fortunate there for the Tigers.
Now 3rd and 10, good coverage.
That's a 4th down and 10.
Or,
Sorry,
yes.
they just changed it. They on the marker on the field, it was 3rd down for a long time, so looked like they just changed that to a 3rd down. But
hey, I went to CU, so I've seen 5th down in my time. Might have been a little too young, but it's burnt in my memory somewhere. 4th and 10. Beals, and another false start.
that looked like it was Beals there moving early.
Yeah, Beals backed out early, and so did the left tackle Tackett. And so that's going to make this 4th and 15 a little more comfortable here for Erie. We just saw that pass again on our stream, and man, Kana almost tipped that into the hands of the Roosevelt receiver. And he almost had a pick, and it was almost caught. And a good thing for the Tigers, fell to the turf. 4th and 15. Tiger front moving around. They're going to rush 4. Beal steps up in the pocket, and he is sacked by Nate Hackney. And a turnover, and that will give the Tigers the ball with 6:08. Oh, man, this game getting real interesting.
Yeah, Hackney making up for that. He is the long snapper on those special team plays, so a little high snap there to Julian Cassine, but great play there on 4th and 15 and bring it to the 17-yard line for the Tigers. About the same starting position as they were last time, but really trying to take advantage with just over 6 minutes left. Still manageable here, only a 2-point lead for Roosevelt.
So 1st and 10. What can the Tigers engineer here? It's Lucero out there with Roper. Tigers are going to run it with Roper. He's got a little bit of room, ducks under 1 man, and then just kind of sputters his way forward for a gain of 3. .550 and counting. Now the clock starting to feel a little uneasy if you're an Erie fan.
Already burning those 2 timeouts starting beginning of the third quarter, so really kind of wanting those back.
Now handoff again to Roper, and he just kind of hammers his way up the middle. Another 3 yards in a cloud of dust, if you will, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3.
Key
Big
3rd down here.
Really, you could say it's 4 down territory for the Tigers. Wouldn't mind see them even handing it off again.
Try to get as close as you can to that 1st down marker and try to punch it through.
Lucero will hand it off. Roper makes the first man miss into the secondary, and he's got a 1st down. That will stop the clock under 5 minutes now. Tiger front has been so solid all season. Can they engineer something special here in the waning moments of this game? We knew this was going to be a battle. We said it might come down to the last possession. And right now the Tigers have the ball. 4:36, 1st and 10. Ball spotted at their own 36. It's a keeper for Lucero. Has a little seam. And he'll lean his way across the sticks, I think, for another first down. If not, it's second and real short.
And they're giving it.
Yep, they are giving it. Tigers going real quick here. Lucero will keep it again. Makes another man miss, still on his feet, able to hold on to the ball. And just kind of dancing his way through traffic like a slalom skier. Now Roper will check back in. 2nd and 9. Under 4 minutes now. At this point, you need a score from this Tiger drive because you don't have enough timeouts to really stop Roosevelt and get the ball back. So they have to find a way to execute. Lucero hands off to Roper, right side. He's bottled up at the line, still on his feet, breaks it out to the left. He's across the 40, the 30. He's being chased down, but he will score! Noah Roper! And a flag all the way back at the Erie 48, and it's a hold, and it's going to bring the whole thing back.
Saw Cameron Marcucci after seeing that flag take a little somersault out of pure anger there. So holding call, bringing that back to a 2nd and 14 now.
I think that might even be a little further back. That was
that's like
behind
it's
the
gonna
line.
go. That looks like it's gonna go way back.
It's gonna be a 2nd and about 20 here. Now we're looking here at the stream, trying to see if we see a hold. And a little block in the back for sure. I think that may be even what it was called. There was just a little shove in the back of a defender. So 2nd and 17 is what the scoreboard officially says. Man, Roper had no room. And then, unfortunately, the other bad thing is that takes Roper off the field. I think we'll see some play action here from Lucero, a little rollout. Roosevelt showing blitz. Here's the screen pass. It's Kana. He's got a man, stiff arms, and then he is hit hard. And the Tigers want it, a late hit out of bounds, and they don't get it.
That looked like from here he got hit when he was out of bounds. So, I mean, they got a 3rd down and almost 15 now. Or sorry, 12. So, still 4-down territory with 3:14 left, even that's stopping the clock.
Now Roper in. Hopefully he caught his breath. It's almost one of those where you want timeouts because just in case you don't score, you want one in your hip pocket. Another thing is you almost want to use it, try and get a full strength no Roper. 3rd and long. Roper flanks Lucero on the right. Play action. Lucero's going to squeeze it out to the right. He's got a little bit of room, trying to cut it up the sideline, and he's ridden out of bounds. And that's going to set up a 4th and about 7.
Key play of the game right here. 4th down and about 7 or 6 yards. So pretty much the game comes down to this play right here. Keeping Noah Roper in.
Mansdorfer checks in.
With Lucero out there too, so trying to create some confusion here.
Back judge with his hand up. 10 seconds left here on the play clock. Play action. Lucero rolling. Still rolling. He's going to tuck and run, and he is hammered to the turf. Nowhere really to throw. And that is going to be a turnover on down. So now the question is, can you get the critical stop with 2:54 left? And that's why I said, hey, you take 2-yard loss, 5-yard loss on the 2-point conversion. Still have room to convert it, but you keep a timeout. And that's always one thing I'd love to see some metrics on timeouts versus 5 yards. And you hate to ever second guess. Could have been a good timeout at the time too. Just in this situation, hindsight, man, Love to have that timeout back. And I think they're going to call no on a shove. There's 2 flags came in. I'm not sure what's going on.
He was already. It looked like he was in motion still before that even was called.
Dead ball false start on Roosevelt.
And that's what they're calling there, not Noah Roper.
Now, there was just it. Noah kind of shoved the guy and let up as the whistle was happening. And we even heard our own Kyle Cooper say, oh, come on. We thought that was thrown on Noah for a second. Luckily, it's not. So 1st and 15, 2:50 remaining. And another fall start. And then, yep. And so Roosevelt having some issue. And time ran off the clock there. There should have been no time that expired. There should be 2 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock. I don't know if the Tiger coaching staff notices because their backs are to that scoreboard. But that, who knows, that 3 seconds could be proved to be something. That was dead ball, which means no snap. All right, well, nothing we can do about it over here. Now handoff for Tato. Gets stopped at the line, and he's in all-out protect mode. And Roosevelt fans don't like Marcucci kind of a little extracurricular after the whistle. I think Cameron didn't hear the whistle, wanted to make sure that the running back's knee was being touched.
Yeah, it looked like Marcucci on the Noah Roper play getting called back. He was a little angry, and he looked fired up after that, so trying to play with a little bit of fire left in his belly, trying to keep these Tigers alive.
2nd and about 19 here for Roosevelt. They have plenty of time. They have 10 seconds, I believe, left here on the play clock, and I think Roosevelt is going to take a timeout when the play clock hits 0. And if you watch the official, his play clock seconds are slower than the actual seconds ticking on the clock.
I noticed that earlier in the game. His seconds are very slow.
He started his 5-second signal there, and about 8 seconds went off the clock.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm misreading the interpretation of the referee's mechanics, but so Roosevelt will burn the timeout. It's 2nd and 20. Scoreboard still shows 1st and 20. The down marker correct, though. As this is going to come down to the wire. The general rule of thumb is you call timeout after 2nd down. That's just kind of the rule there. You do that in case they get a 1st down, and then you restop it. But wouldn't be enough time for that. Tigers have to get a stop. So I imagine if Roosevelt runs it here, which they should, Erie will call a timeout.
Erie right now trying to look for trying to see if they can strip it like they did a couple of times earlier.
Full house backfield. It's going to be a keeper for Beals, and he is stuffed, and here's the timeout. So 1:45 left. And I'd say the Tigers have lost about 8 mystery seconds. I don't know how much that will come into play. You got to figure this. Roosevelt's play is going to take about 5-6 seconds, especially if they run it, which once again they should. Now Roosevelt might think, hey, let's go for the win. Let's pass it. There's always the risk, though, you throw it incomplete, and that stops the clock. It's like a timeout
and
for
gives
Erie.
Great field position to Erie, so
Yeah.
which only needs 3 points to win the game. So I wouldn't think that they would probably go for it more as just probably try to boot it as far as they can down the field and make them go the length of the field with no timeouts.
Yeah, so you think they're going to run. That's about 6 seconds off the clock. Maybe a little more, a little less. 40-second play clock. That means the snap is going to be around the 55-ish second mark. So Erie will have about 45 seconds or so to try and get down the field and score if they can get a stop here. And they will go from the eye. Beals will pitch it to the wide side. He's got room as Hurtado, and Tigers able to get that, and then thought there was a flag thrown. It was actually a football on the sideline.
Yeah, it's kind of messing with us here. Dion Lucero trying to warm up on the sideline, but looks like from our view it's a little glare off the stadium lights.
So, how much time will the Tigers get? It's 4th and 14. You'd be insane to try and go for it here. Might as well punt it away and make the Tigers go the length of the field. And
calling a timeout at 1 minute. So giving the Tigers a little bit more time.
All right, so good job that time mechanically from the refs. In fact, Grayson Blaylock, our producer here tonight, or our CG anyways, he looked up at me and said, hey, there was 41 seconds left on the clock, 141, when the player was down, and you look up and about 40 seconds went off. So good job that time. And they will punt it away. And so can the Tigers make the big drive, a drive that would keep them perfect, 7-0 coming into tonight, a matchup of 2 top 5 teams. And, man, this is a taste of playoff football. And one thing about this Tri-Valley is these teams are going to be battle-tested once they roll into the playoffs. I would not want to play any Tri-Valley team that gets into the playoffs.
Yeah, coming Meade, Erie, Roosevelt, even Frederick is making a run at it now. So, I mean, even a tough schedule for the Erie Tigers to finish out the season. Next week, go with Meade, and then Frederick away at Frederick at the last game of the season.
I mean, every team. Berthoud's no slouch. Holy Family is still Holy Family. As Roosevelt has to run one on late. Tigers kind of running a little protective. Low punt. Roper's going to try and field this. It's going to roll down into the end zone. So 51 seconds left for all intents purposes.
Trying to go down 80 yards. I mean, you do have Dion Lucero now. You have that arm. You have that accuracy. Jacob Mansdorfer, more of a running quarterback, trying to get down the field, have different options. But Dion Lucero has the ability to throw balls downfield, which you would think that Roosevelt would try to put a lot of their players deep and try to make sure those get covered. But key thing for the Tigers here is get out of bounds.
Get out of bounds. Get a first down. That will stop the clock. Last thing you can do, take a sack or be stopped short of the first down. Lucero, he's going to roll. Being protected by Roper. He's going to throw the deep out, caught, and they will say out of bounds.
See, that ref he gives the signal of look like he catches it, but then later just shows the out of bounds. So only about 5 seconds ticking off the clock there. So not a bad thing, but still need to try to get upfield here. Not a bad design play, but just couldn't get a feet inside.
All right, 2nd and 10, 45 ticks left. They will hand it off to Roper. This is dangerous. He can't be stopped short, and he will. So the Tigers have to hurry to the line. 38 seconds left. You know, you want to put in the hands of your best player, and the Tigers are going to spike it too. Oh, man. So not only do you burn it down, but you're stopped short of the first. That's where I think you just put Noah on the edge and put him in the pattern.
I mean, you only gained 3 yards in about 25 seconds, burning half the time you had left. So you really need to start looking downfield here if you really want to get this win.
The other thing is, if you want to run the ball, you could pitch it toward the sideline. That was kind of the other option. Now Tigers, backs against the wall. They need to make a big play here. Could they shock the world? Lucero, he's going to roll, being protected there. Fires it out, and that will do it. Tigers are going to drop their first one. 22-20, as they just couldn't quite find the right recipe here down the stretch.
Oh, now it's, I believe now it's 4th down.
That was 4th, unless, once again, back to our CU reference, unless they give a
And
second, 3rd down. The spike was on 3rd down.
Yeah, that sideline person giving us the okay really didn't show that. So, I mean, tough loss here, but really a good performance from both teams tonight.
Well, the good news is Erie's still 7-1 on the season. And, I mean, I'm sure that no one's going to be pleased with this loss, but I mentioned this earlier today when we were at softball. Hey, the pressure of being undefeated when you've never handled that situation before, you didn't want to see Erie, at least in my opinion, go into the playoffs undefeated. That's a tough, that's just tough to shoulder.
Yeah. At
Now-
that point, everyone wants to beat you. So everyone's really trying to get that on, either have a chip on their shoulder while you're just still trying to grind out every single time. So great job from these Tigers. I mean, 7-1 is nothing to be ashamed of. I wouldn't be surprised if they're still in the top 10, even maybe top 5. Roosevelt may be moving up, but still played some great teams. Got Meade next week at home on Friday.
That will be a good one. Well, your biggest times of growth are typically after a loss. Here we'll go back. Hey, they'll look themselves in the mirror. They'll know what mistakes they made down the stretch. Obviously, that penalty that called the Roper touchdown back, that's going to be a tough pill to swallow, but there's going to be about a dozen of those plays that players are going to repeat in their minds tonight as they lay in bed about one play that could have made the difference, and that's championship-level football when you know that, hey, we're one play away or 2 plays away from being undefeated. And so they'll get back at it. We will be back at it next week, but we're done here today. A couple softball games, a football game. We're going to pack up. We're going to go home, and then we will see everyone next week. Thank you so much for watching, fans. I hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. For Peter down on the field, Kyle on camera, Grayson Blaylock running our graphics, our CG tonight, Caleb kind of producing, calling color. I'm Brandon Bird. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, we'll see you later, Tiger fans.